everybody. Hey, guess who's back? Back again.
Shady's back.
Tell a friend. No, welcome to another episode of When Does the Fuckery End? We might have to change the title.
I don't know.
There's been a lot going on in life.
There has.
To where maybe When Does the Fuckery End's not appropriate anymore.
Okay. Some rebranding.
Well, yeah, we've rebranded ourselves.
That's true.
But let's start off how we usually do. I'm going to go through some organizations that I completely 100% back behind, and that's Tunnel to Towers Foundation, Semper Fi America's Fund.
Mm-hmm. Love that one now.
Yeah, we got to talk about them.
Yeah, we do.
They're the ones who did the episode with the doctors and all that.
I know, man. That was such a great great episode.
It was a great experience.
Oh, fantastic experience.
The Joshua Chamberlain Society, you can find them at Joshua Chamberlain or chamberlainsociety.org.
Mm-hmm.
And then Focus Marines. And we talk a lot about Focus Marines. We've had a lot of participants come through, and I feel like I mentor there now. So that's why I think we need a little bit of a rebranding. We'll keep going back to that.
Mm-hmm.
Are you hearing my arm go in the microphone?
Just a little bit, but who cares?
It'll be all right.
You're
a
robotic man, you know?
It's my hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Do? But yeah, it's come to a point where when does the fuckery end? There's always going to be fuckery.
Always.
Just not as bad as we were doing before. I mean, the screwball shots are gone.
Yep.
You had a baby. That's why we've been off air for quite some time.
Yeah.
And I went to rehab, and now I'm about ready to start or quit drinking again.
Mm-hmm.
About to have a book written about me.
I know. I'm super excited to hear about this.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that later.
Mm-hmm.
But there's just a lot going on in life to where it's like, do we change the name?
Mm-hmm. I think we should think about it more.
How about we leave it up to the listeners?
Oh, if we have any still.
Yeah, if we still have any. We're going to have to do a lot of promoting for this one. I'll send it out to Brittany Beef Curtains.
Yes, Brittany Beef Curtains.
She'll make sure that it gets spread back out.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, so today, since we're back and I didn't know what to really talk about, recently I just lost a friend of mine that I played video games with and then met on the side offline, which people thought was crazy. They were all like, he's a serial killer. He's going to kill you. I'm like, no, I know this. I've been playing with this guy for 2 or 3 years. I'm pretty sure he's not going to murder me. He played with you as well.
Oh, yes.
That sounds funny. He played with you as well.
He played with me all the time.
Yes, we played together a lot.
Late at night.
Okay, but in lightness of his death, that's the way I'm taking it. I learned a lot from Focus, and I learned a lot from him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying not to take his death so hard. And the things I learned from him are, there might be a third person party in your life that has some advice and you're like, no, he doesn't understand. But it took the life of a person for me to understand that. And that's how deep that one runs. He lived in my house for 6 months. He was fighting a fraud case that was down in Kentucky from a rental property. And my wife was against it from the beginning. She was like, no, I don't want him here. You don't know this man very well, blah, 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 blah. Well, they became good friends while he was staying here with his dogs. And he was a buffer between me and my family to where my family could go talk to him about me and I could go talk to them talk to him about them.
Yeah.
And we learned a lot about each other because instead of us just yelling at each other like we usually do or getting angry because we're trying to give our opinion away, someone else was giving him the insight and they took it. And that's hard to believe that you will listen to somebody else before you listen to the ones closest to you.
Yes. It's our pride, really, is what it comes down to, is that we have this, I know I'm right. But sometimes it takes an outside perspective to come in and be like, you really need to think about that. This is your perspective, but you have to look at it. They're not looking at it in your perspective. They're looking at it their perspective.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. Life is so short. Why are we arguing about things in the house?
Oh yeah.
When life becomes an argument sometimes with a family, that's all everybody wants to do is argue their point because they want to be right.
Because they want to win.
Right. Winning is not the option.
Winning's not even the purpose anymore.
Compromise is the option.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned this stuff at Focus, and I still sometimes find myself falling into it. I'm not perfect, by no means.
Nobody thought you were, Todd.
No one did. But I'm just saying, I'm not perfect by any means. So I guess what I wanted to say about Anthony is that his life has given me another meaning in life, which has served me very well. I always try to find the silver lining in dark times. And if there's anything that I could say about Anthony, was that he was a good man. He tried his best. And he always had good advice.
I agree with that. But I do want to point out, though, that he wasn't very good at Call of Duty.
No, he wasn't. He was worse than me. And
I know.
I play with... Now,
He's a good
he
dude,
had gotten better. His average was like 3 kills.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you out there, that's not very good. Like, I would get 3 every now and then, and I don't have hands. But he was just a straight up outstanding man.
He was.
He was going through a hard time. He had finally just got a job with my brother, roofing. He was looking forward to it. He was on the up and up, and then a tragic ATV accident happened, and
he's gone.
He's gone. And instead of hiding my emotions and stuff in a bottle like I usually would do back when I was going through my phases, before I learned a lot about who I am, I started using the tools I learned at Focus, which we talk a lot about here. And it's helped me realize that life is short. Why are we so angry all the time?
I agree.
Well, the problem is people are angry that Trump's president now. And people are angry that Camilla lost. And people are angry that this is going on. And it's like, if you're not going to do something about it, stop fucking complaining.
Yeah, shut up.
Just shut up.
Yep.
Because what are you going to... protest peacefully. If you have an opinion, it's okay to have an argument.
Oh, always.
No, or I don't even want to call it an argument. It's okay to have a debate.
Yes.
But if you can keep your side under control while
civil,
having a conversation with somebody, that's the biggest difference. You might learn something.
Exactly. And that's really what it needs to come down to. I mean, we just need people to realize and just not get angry over everything. Because that's what happens. Everybody starts yelling at each other. I
wouldn't even say angry. I would say thinking their opinion is right, that the way they live is the way that things need to be.
Yes.
That's 100% not what I fought for.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's 100% not what you signed up for.
You're right.
Excuse me, I was burping. Again.
Double burp.
But this is what it comes down to, is everyone has their own ideologies and their own belief system and the way they were raised. If we could just take that and put it aside and not worry about what someone else is doing on their own free time inside their house, if they're not hurting somebody
or doing anything that could possibly
hurt somebody.
Yes.
Then I think we need to just let it go.
Yeah. I mean, really.
Like, here's my problem. Gay marriage. Why is that such a bad thing?
I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either. But there's people out there that do.
Mm-hmm.
Should they get the same rights? I believe so.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know why they wouldn't. I mean,
this all leads back to the federal government now.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, they need to stay at the... Here's my opinion on the federal government.
I'm on a quotation opinion.
Yeah, well, I'm doing air quotes right now with my non-existent fingers. They're meant for infrastructure.
Yes.
They are not meant to tell us what to do.
No.
And as soon as the government gets their hands in things, they're never going to get out.
What was the president? I can't remember who it was, but they said the most scariest thing that you could hear is, "Hi, I'm from the government. I'm here to help."
Right.
And that's the truth.
It is the truth. The government was built just to maintain our way of life.
Yes. To protect our way of life.
Not to protect. Well, to raise enough money to make sure that it's okay. Like infrastructure, like transportation for escorting goods to where they need to go. Mm-hmm. Tariffs and trades. That's what the government's for.
Yeah.
They are not here to make rules and laws to tell us who can marry who and what kind of tax break you get for liking who you like.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're getting a little deep down a rabbit hole here on the beginning, but
I agree. I want to swing it back down to Anthony. I'm going to might ambush you a little bit. Do you have a favorite memory of him? Like a good memory, or a funny memory from him?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it was me and him. We were down in Kentucky during Rave in a Cave. This is the first time I met him in person.
Mm-hmm. I really wish I would have gone to that. I tried to, but it just didn't work out that way.
He would fly off the handle sometimes. He did. But it was a weird side of him that I never seen because I only heard him in the headphones playing Call of Duty. Mm-hmm. But my favorite memory of him is when he actually listened to me, because we were going in and out at night, and that place was packed full of side-by-sides, people that had been drinking all damn day long. And I wasn't going to have it. Like, usually I would be all about it. Mm-hmm. You're watching me talk with my hands, and it's really creeping me out.
Why is that weird?
Well, I don't have hands. That's why
it's
weird.
But it's your Italian nature. You're talking with your
I'm
hands.
animated.
I think I've mentioned this actually in one of the podcasts before. I'm like, people just don't understand. You talk with your hands, but you don't have any. So it's kind of.
But anyway, back to the story. So it was the fact that he listened to me, and we hadn't really met each other before. And I said, dude, I'm not going back in there. He wanted to go so bad. I was like, it's going to be a shit show. Someone's going to get hurt. I had a bad pit in my stomach. And he listened to me. And the ironic thing is that's how he died. We went and we were alone on a trail in a park by ourselves on a Monday, and it rolled on top of him. And there was nothing I could do.
Yeah.
And that's just funny that you asked that question, because I had that gut feeling that we shouldn't have gone in there, but I didn't this time.
Yeah.
Am I blaming myself? No, by no means.
Good. You shouldn't.
No, there was nothing I could do. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's just funny that I had that feeling at that moment. And stop watching me move my hands. You're watching me move my nubs like a maestro, and it's really it's creepy, dude.
I don't know why it's creepy. I do it all the time, but in my defense, I have ADHD. So whenever you start moving,
well, I'm just gonna start watching your hands move now.
Okay, well, do that.
No, I'm just gonna stare at your balls.
Please do. They're very small,
all the way. Brittany's beef curtains. Anyway, so do you have one of Anthony? I know that you didn't really know him or see him very often, but anything that strikes you on a conversation you might have had with him at Call of Duty, or
I don't have it's hard to say. I have bad memory, just like you.
Yeah.
But
I stepped on a bomb. What's your
I don't have an excuse. I just
I can't even recall words. I couldn't even think of excuse there for a second.
I don't even remember how I met him, quite honestly. I just remember him being there and then us talking about you. And he's like, oh yeah, I played with No Limps. And I was like, oh yeah, that's my brother-in-law. And he's like, what? That's your brother-in-law? I was like, yeah, dude. I'm pretty sure that I introduced you somehow to him or something. I was like,
yeah, he had that story. He had that story that he found me on TikTok and somehow ended up playing with you.
It was TikTok. He messaged you because I was running your TikTok. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, oh yeah, here.
This
is my gamer tag. And I pushed him to you, but really he was talking to me.
Yeah.
That's what it was. That makes more sense now.
Now, listen, people, I have full control of all of my social media now. So it's not, of course. You're talking to me, not other people. Stop looking at my hands, man.
I have ADHD. You're moving. It's distracting.
They're not even hands.
I know.
It looks like a penis and balls and you put them together. Look at this.
Why do you keep
I
calling
wish
them
you all
hands?
could see this right now. It's a nutsack. No. Reeling it in. Anyway. So there's a lot been going on in life lately.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had to take a large break because you were having a baby.
Yeah, that was my baby is like 2 years old now.
Yeah, well, guess what's happening now?
What? Tell me.
Tell you, Kyle, you're having a girl this time.
Oh, no, I'm
That's
not.
right, ladies and gentlemen. Kyle will be fired again because he's having a baby.
I am having a baby.
You're going to get excited because we're back for one episode.
No, we're coming back.
That's on
This
Kyle.
is it. I am putting my foot down. We are going to do more episodes.
What foot? Both feet?
Both feet, right now. You hear
You're
that?
cementing them?
Cementing
and concreting them into the
Yes.
fullness of...
I want this to continue. I enjoy these conversations, Todd.
These conversations are amazing. You
I
know
agree.
why? Because they're recorded and they'll always be there.
Always, forever.
And that's what we were talking about earlier in the kitchen before we started.
Oh,
the
yeah.
internet.
The new slogan for the internet, right?
Yeah, the new slogan for the internet.
For eternity.
My new slogan for the internet is the internet. It's there for eternity.
Eternity.
Forever. Warenberg.
Oh my goodness.
We both have ADHD.
Yeah,
We're both
I know,
going
dude.
off on tangents.
I know.
Of nowhere.
For anybody that isn't from the Midwest, back in the day before Marcus Theaters, it used to be Warenberg Theaters in Missouri in the surrounding area. So
Yeah, and they used to go, Warenberg. And they'd whisper, so it got quiet.
yeah,
It was like, that was before cell phones.
but dude, it was
Yeah. Before cell phones, pagers.
pagers.
Only doctors had pagers. But
I
then
never had a pager.
I had one.
I believe you.
No, I did. Me and all my brothers did because my mom used to try to keep track of us because we would leave the house early in the morning, wouldn't come home till 10, have time for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
She would page us, but we'd never call her back was the problem.
So I'm going to ask you a question, and I don't want to be judged too much for it. And I know we probably have a lot of older listeners, but I because I never used them, I don't know how they actually work. What is? I know that you get it like a page and the number runs across, but I don't know like how it worked.
So what you did was you dialed a number. It was like having a phone,
Mm-hmm.
and then you typed in your phone number, so they knew to call you back. It was basically like
And it would go across the screen.
yeah, it would come across the screen. Hey, this number's trying to get a hold of me.
And then you would go find a payphone.
Then you would have to go find a payphone or a landline.
Okay. Now I'm starting to understand. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's how they worked, and it was like back in the day when I had mine, it was just I was in like the 8th grade, I think it was.
You
8th or
had
9th
one
grade.
in the 8th
Yeah,
grade?
my mom bought us these cheap ones, and it was like to talk to girls. It was like if a girl texted you, and it was like 911. That meant like an emergency, and it was like I gotta find a phone. I'd be in the woods smoking somewhere, like.
You know, I think in 8th grade is when I got my first cell phone.
How old are you?
I'm 34.
34? You're only 6 years younger than. Well, yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, it is. And you got to remember, by the time they got this made these pagers, the next step was cell phone.
Yeah.
Like that was the next
Well, they
step.
had already had car phones.
Exactly. I've seen them in older movies, and that was insane to me. Those things are like house phones. Like
Yeah,
just
like-
in your car.
If you've never seen a car phone, for our younger listeners, if there is any, for our
I
older
know.
listeners, you guys all know what it is. But my Aunt Jackie used to have one, and she would pull it out of her trunk when she would pick us up and put it in the middle console. And as she picked us up while we were leaving the house, be like, call your mom. This is cool. So
Just call your mom.
yeah, so we would, that's the only number I knew back then.
I actually had a lot of, back in the day, I had a lot of phone numbers memorized.
Oh, I had a ton of,
Yeah.
that's another thing wrong
Yeah.
with the youth today is
Oh,
that like
yeah.
if they lose their cell phone, they don't know how to get a hold of you.
Man.
No one does.
I only know my wife's number right now. Like,
I
mine and my
personally
wife's
know
number.
my mother's,
don't know my mom's.
Michelle's, which is my wife,
Mm-hmm.
and a couple others. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't memorize numbers anymore because I just store them.
Yeah.
Before you had to memorize everything.
Everything. And I feel like that is part of what's dumb. I wouldn't say dumbing us down, but because we're not using that knowledge and information, like storing it, I feel like we're losing some of it.
Well, we're losing the ability to retain information.
Yes, because
because it's always there.
exactly.
All you got to do is re-download it from your iCloud or your Google
Yeah.
Cloud or wherever the hell it is.
Or you just have to Google it, you know? Like
Like if you lose your phone now, oh, don't worry. Everything that I have on it will be on my next phone because it's all in my cloud.
yep.
All on the internet where it's there for the eternity.
I do have I wanted to share a small story. I mean, it was about the cell phones. My uncle was in the Navy in the 90s, you know, so he was part of the Gulf War. And he said that whenever they got close, because he was on an aircraft carrier, he was an electrician on the aircraft carriers.
Yeah.
And he said that he had a buddy of his that had a big like radio phone. And when they got close to shore, he would charge like enlisted guys or people for just time to call because they didn't have ways to contact the shore.
So like
back
a
on the day.
modern day satellite phone?
Yes. but it was like a backpack, like it was big antenna,
I think that we've talked about this already, but everything that technology wise that comes out new goes through the government first.
Oh yeah.
It has to be tested by the government and the military. Just like your iris scanners and your thumbprint scanners on your phone. Those things were being used when I was in Afghanistan in 2009.
Really?
Before they even came out. We had a thing called the hides and bats system. And you would take a picture of the person and read and then have them look into the thing and put their picture with the information. So somewhere down the line, all these Afghanis have their pupils on file with our government.
Yeah.
Because I did a bunch of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say that if it's not classified anymore, but I don't give a fuck because it's the government.
Well, Trump's going to be in office. I mean, he'll probably pardon you.
Oh, well, why not? Biden pardoned his son.
Yeah, and therefore pardon himself from the crime too.
Oh, I didn't know you could pardon yourself.
No, you can't. But by pardoning his son, any implications that he was in no longer affects him because he's
What
pardoned.
about all the files he had in his house? His son didn't do that. They tried to nail Trump for it.
Oh, they raided his house for it.
Well,
That stuff.
I don't want to get political,
Yeah,
but it's just crazy out there. It's crazy out there nowadays. We're raising children in a world that we don't know what's going to happen.
Yes.
We don't.
I'm kind of low key. I'm terrified about the future. I don't know what's going to happen. And I know everybody's like kind of scared of the future, but I feel like we're going down a bad rabbit hole. You know what I mean? Like things are getting progressively worse, in my opinion.
Worse. I think if these next 4 years things don't get better, that we're gonna be screwed.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna be screwed. Because if we can't control the war that's raging in Ukraine right now and the war that is raging in between Israel and Hamas.
Well, I thought Hamas just said that they wanted a ceasefire as soon as President Trump was elected. 20 minutes.
Well, we all knew that was coming, but how long is it going to last?
That's the question.
Because
until the next president.
Here's the problem: is like we said, people always think they're right. They're going to go back. Well, you did this to us. Now we're coming back.
Yes.
There's always going to be retaliation.
Everybody wants vengeance.
Well, the problem is that there's no such thing as revenge.
No.
Because it doesn't make you feel better.
No.
Just makes somebody else feel shitty.
And it's a continuous cycle.
Right. That's why when people, I hate to bring up Focus again, but one of the facilitators there,
hate to bring that up.
Sona Vanderhoop. Yeah, her name's Sona Vanderhoop. And she's from Canada, and she talks about the Timothy McVeigh experience, where all these people that had their loved ones die during the bombing wanted to watch him die. That was their form of trying to make themselves feel better. But in a study, I guess they said that most of them, it didn't make them feel better. It made them feel worse because now they just watched another human being die.
Yeah.
And that's not what we're supposed to see in life. That's not how life is. We're not supposed to see that type of stuff. And that's why there's a lot of tragedies and post PTS.
PTSD.
With, no D.
No
we
D.
don't say disorder anymore.
Okay. I'm sorry. I apologize. I did not.
It's just something that happens.
In World War II, they called it World War I and II. They called it shell shock. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just something you're not supposed to.
It's not
it's not common.
Yes, it's something that normal human beings are not supposed to handle in a situation, and it overwhelms them,
which really surprises me that evolutionary wise that we haven't, because think about the Crusades and all the wars where guys just ran at each other.
But at the same point, you got to think there were people like that.
Well,
like,
the age limit of living probably was only till 25 because of all the wars.
And most people probably that get injured a lot of times died.
Yeah, from gangrene or infection or...
I mean, heck, even in the Civil War, you got shot in the leg. They cut off your leg because you were going to...
Let's not talk about that, Kyle.
Okay.
You're fired.
Again, that's 2 times this time.
No, I said I said you would be fired.
Okay, well then it's official then. 1 time. Then let's shift. You have a book coming out, or you are going to be talking to a ghostwriter, yes?
Correct. There's a mentor I have. His name is John O'Leary, and I suggest that you go and check him out. He has his own book called Man on Fire and his own story. He's a very well-known motivational speaker throughout the world in St. Louis. He also has a movie coming out called Man on Fire.
Man on Fire.
But he has been trying to convince me for 3-4 years, since 2019 when I went through Focus myself to try to become a motivational speaker. And I always thought, that's not for me. That's not for me. Writing a book's not for me. It's not my type of thing. But as I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize that back then I wasn't where I'm at now in life.
You weren't ready.
I wasn't. I still had things I was dealing with myself that I wanted to keep secret. I had things that I was overcoming still that I wanted to keep secret. It wasn't my time yet. Mm-hmm. But he's setting me up with a publisher, and we're going to do some kind of ghostwriting thing. And hopefully within the next 5 to 6 months, there might be a book about Todd Nicely.
I hope it actually takes longer than that. Not to shorten it, but I want an in-depth book about you, Todd.
Oh, well, here's the thing is the people that are doing it have this AI system.
And they're just going to find all the information everywhere.
No, they're not going to find it everywhere. They're going to actually, I don't want to give away how it's done.
Okay.
Because I don't know if I can.
Okay.
But they have a algorithm that I'll speak to, and it'll put it all together, and then an editor will go through it. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be multiple conversations over 5 to 6 months.
They'll probably feed these Toddcasts into it as well.
Well, yeah. I mean, they'll find them and put that kind of stuff in there, make sure all the information's accurate. And then it also asks you quite like when it tries to write the book, if it's not filled out in a certain manner, they'll send me the information and be like, tell us more about this.
And that by itself is a little bit creepy, quite honestly.
Oh, dude.
Because that means that they can just listen to you, people, not just you, but anybody over time. Like, let's say they find all of somebody's previous conversations on like Xbox, because they still have those.
No.
And then they feed them all into, about said person. Then they can make a whole conversation. They could make a fake person about this person.
That's already going on with ghosting text messages and stuff like that.
I know, but that's creepy.
It is creepy. That's
It's
where
scary.
technology is headed. That's why this world is crazy.
It's terrifying.
It is terrifying. Technology is good, but it's being used for evil.
Yes.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Anything good is being used for evil.
Well, I mean, it's a tool, so therefore it's not good or bad. It's neutral.
Well, there's a man named Wendell Webb who's also at Focus. He's like, I want to say 80, in his 80s. He was in Vietnam. He set up one of the first radio camps in Vietnam.
Nice.
He worked for Boeing for years. Smartest man I ever met. He actually, people are paying him to come consult. He knows so much about technology more than I do, and he's in his 80s. Mm-hmm. Like, he could probably hack a computer if he wanted to. I don't know what his clearance is. I don't know. I haven't really talked to him that much. But that man invents technology.
Yeah.
And he's even said it himself that it can be used for good or bad, but we got to have it. Mm-hmm. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Because if we don't invent it, somebody else is.
Yes.
And then they will probably use it for bad.
It's just learning how to regulate it.
Yes.
I believe that the internet nowadays is like the wild, wild west. You can do whatever the hell you want and get away with it.
Yes, because it's eternal.
Eternity.
Now
you're fired again. You fucked it up.
That does sound like me.
I should have kicked you out of the room the first time I fired you.
First time.
For the very first time forever.
Ooh, your mentor though. Let's talk about that. Could we possibly get him on a Toddcast?
We could, because I've done one of his. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the name of it, but man, this guy is a very, very joyful person.
Really?
Like, he was at 9 years old. I'm just going to set a scene for you guys. 9 years old. He was playing with gas and matches, and it blew up his dad's garage. 90% or over 90% of his body was burned. Over 80 of it, I think, was third-degree burns. Don't quote me on that. Missing his fingers, missing everything. But man, this guy's got such an attitude on life that it's like, why am I so
down?
Why do I feel like I have nothing to give? And I don't know if I'm giving away anything. Don't worry, people probably aren't listening, John. But he said that one day he was in a church and He was hungover in the back in the pew. And he said he heard the pastor say, why not help? Or I'm getting this quote all messed up, but it was more along the lines of, why not use your good for help? Why not you? And that changed his life. And
well, I would just want to say, for eternity, you got that wrong. It's on the internet.
I know it's wrong. That's why I said, don't quote me. Air quotes.
Air quotes.
Yeah. But it was something along those lines. I don't have a good memory. Remember, I stepped on a bomb.
Okay, now we're going to shift again. Let's go towards you.
We're shifting a lot. Are we getting into fifth gear here?
Yeah, man. Fifth gear. We're plowing through this.
Oh, man. We're plowing.
You went somewhere today. What is that, and what is it all about?
Okay, so in my enlightening of Anthony's death and things that I've been coming to terms with myself as he just kind of sped it up, I needed to find something to do. And this is going to be one of them again. I need to be active. I need to continue to keep myself busy so I'm not just sitting around in an idle state.
Yes.
So I decided to join the Marine Corps League Honor Guard, which is we go out to funerals and do the gun salute and play the bugle for everybody there.
Okay.
And then we leave. Well, they do them on Fridays all day long at the Veterans Cemetery. So I've decided to join them and, pay my respects to fallen soldiers and Marines and sailors and airmen. And, well, we're not saying Space Force, so.
X-Force.
Space Force?
Oh, yeah, it is Space Force. I'm fired.
Yeah, you're fun. Why do you keep getting fired? Why did I hire you?
You didn't.
I know. You just kind of pushed your way in.
I just showed up one day.
But yeah, that's what I'm doing now. And for me, it's kind of full circle because when I watched Saving Private Ryan, that's what made me want to join the military. And now these are the guys that are coming into the cemetery. So that's my way of paying homage to them besides joining the military.
Okay. It's beautiful, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought of that.
Thank you. I really like that.
Yeah, I liked it too. That's why I said it.
Okay.
Okay, what? What are you looking at the time?
Yes, I am.
How long has it been?
32 minutes.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, man. We're running out of things to talk about.
We're rusty.
Here. We're not rusty. We're just rushing.
Oh, I don't know, man. I like rusties.
Rusties?
Bumper ointment. Come on, dude.
Oh, yeah? What do you call a quadruple amputee at the bottom of the ocean?
Todd?
Sandy.
What
do you call one in a pile of leaves?
What?
Russell. What do you call two of them hanging next to your window?
I don't know what.
Curtain rod. And this one's obvious. What do you call one at your front door?
What?
Matt.
Doormat. Oh, goodness.
Oh, space fillers. Anyway.
Yeah.
We had something else to talk about.
Did we?
Yeah. We talked about the book that might be coming out.
Yes.
Which is, it's going to be crazy for me that people are going to be, that's one of the big reasons I didn't want to do it.
This is because you're going to become semi-famous at least?
Not semi-famous, but everyone's going to know my life.
Yes.
There's no more privacy.
None. You'll still have little memories that don't make it on there,
But then I feel like, to me, it feels like my soul's being invaded. Like,
okay,
everything that I don't want people to know is going to be out there. Not everything, but like, I'll feel very and extremely vulnerable. And, people I don't know will know everything about me.
Everything. People that you don't know already know a lot about you.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot out there on the internet.
For eternity.
Not eternal.
What's
wrong with you?
I know. A lot.
But yeah, I mean, we go back to that and yeah, that's out there. That's fine. I've even looked stuff up on the internet about myself from time to time and they have it all wrong because they just not plagiarized another article. They just made it into their own words.
Yes. They just took it and changed a couple words. Right?
Yeah. And then it's wrong.
Yep.
So there's stuff out there that's true. There's stuff out there that's false. I would like to set the record straight. And I don't know if it's going to be more, I guess I would call it more of a memoir because it's going to be what I remember and how I remember it.
Well, yeah, what you called from your perspective.
Right. It's not going to be based completely on facts because I might not have experienced the same, if this makes any sense,
it does.
Experienced the same experience that I had with someone else.
Yes.
the way that I took it, the way that I compartmentalized it will be completely different than someone else.
Yes.
And it's crazy because when I'm hanging out with my war buddies, we tell stories all the time, and people like ones that I know that were personally me that I did get all misconstrued, and you just kind of let them go because you don't want to be like, no, that's not how it happened. I know, you don't want to get into that argument, but it's funny how people compartmentalize things and start to remember them as it goes on, as time goes on.
It's sort of like the idea that people out there have a snapshot of what they think you are, but that snapshot to them is you, but it's not you at all because they don't really know you.
Please don't take a picture. They can have a snapshot, but don't take a photograph.
He actually loves autographing things. Please, if you see Todd Nicely in the street,
if
just
there
ask for
ever
an
is
autograph.
a book signing, then it's going to be horrible. Every signature is going to be so different.
I want to get like a stamp for your forehead so that you just I put some like ink on it and then you just slam your head into the book.
Which head?
Any.
Oh, we should do dick stamps.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, see, that went back to when does the fuckery end? I thought we were trying to reevaluate what we were doing.
You know what you could do? We could put ink on one of your nubs and you can be like, bam.
Yeah, but then I got ink all over my nubs.
I mean, we could wash it off afterwards.
And it's forever changing.
Forever. Yeah.
That's why they can't take my fingerprints.
Which makes it a unique
Each
signature.
one would be different.
Each one's going to be different, Todd.
So it's the same as a signature. I can just scribble on there.
Fair enough. I mean, I could get you a stamp. Would you like me to make you a stamp?
But my T's are always the same.
Are they?
Yes. My T for Todd will always be the same.
Okay.
The rest of it,
it's scribbles.
Hoshwag.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Her.
We could do a stamp and then you could just.
Nah, I'd see.
It's not personal.
Then I got to carry around a stamp.
I mean, if you go to a book signing, you would bring it for a book signing specifically.
Right, but then it'd just be like, why am I getting a stamp?
So that you can, because you have no arms and legs and it makes it easier.
But then someone could just go, well, let me re-rubberize your stamp.
Fair enough. Okay. I mean, now, if this all works out. And you're doing a book signing and they want you, are you going to sign it yourself? Or
I would have to.
Now, what if they want to, are you just going to sign your name? Or are you going to be like, love, or,
There's not enough room on the page for the way I write. Now, see, this brings me back to John O'Leary, where it's all part of his story where he had to learn how to write with no fingers.
Yeah.
And that makes me feel bad. I'm like, this guy can write letters and do all this kind of stuff. Here I am worried about having to sign my signature.
Mm-hmm. Are you self-conscious enough now that you're going to later on?
No, I'll never learn how to write. I don't care,
in
man.
your free time.
I don't care. I've got Siri for that shit, man.
Yeah. Okay. I thought I had an idea just a second ago and I lost it. Damn it.
Now it's going to be silent because Kyle can't figure it out.
Why does it have to be on me?
Because it's your turn, Kyle.
Why is it my turn?
You said you had an idea.
I said I had an idea and then I lost it. So
now we're going to be silent until you figure it out. We're putting you in time out.
Then
let's go through 3 minutes of silence for Kyle.
Do 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 do.
Eternity. It's like that fucking commercial du jour, or what's that perfume?
I don't know what
du jour or something like that.
When you said du jour, I thought you were saying DiGiorno. I was like, oh, it's not delivery.
That's a pizza.
I know.
That makes me hungry.
Oh.
Yeah, we're running out of topics real fast.
Yeah, we are.
But it's been so long, we should have some.
I know.
What's happened in life?
A lot of things. I mean, you got addicted to Catan because of me. Have we talked about that?
I don't think people know what Catan is, but let's not talk about my addictions, Kyle. I'm trying to get rid
of Catan. Are you going to still come over and play with us, even though that you're not playing as much on the computer anymore?
Only if it's CK.
Only if it's CK, man.
And people don't know what that is. So this is a conversation between us right now.
I know. But we're still talking.
Yeah, but they're going to be like, well, I'm turning this off.
This isn't as good as it once was. That's what they're going to say.
Ain't as good as it once was.
But it's as good as it'll ever be.
Well, give us a break, people. It's our first time back, okay? Later, there'll be topics down the road.
We'll get interesting.
Yeah, I'll have to start following the news.
Mm-hmm.
But then by the time people hear it,
It'll be too late.
they'll be like, "What the hell is that?"
This is stupid.
I've already talked about this 100 times. Why are they talking about it now?
Do you want anything for Christmas?
All I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth because they're really missing.
I was to say you actually have. No
I'm missing all 4 front teeth.
Yeah,
I just got them back.
Did you lose your?
I lost my my partial like 6 months ago, and I finally just got one made.
Do you know where you lost it? Like in the general
area?
Yeah,
I lost. No, I was drunk. I don't know where I lost them.
Okay.
But at some point in the night, I decided to take them out of my mouth, and I don't know where I put them. I was at a concert.
Okay, what concert?
It was Billy Currington with Joshua Chamberlain Society.
Okay.
He actually signed my hand.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, that's what we can talk about.
Okay. What?
Matt Rife.
Matt Rife?
I seen Matt Rife in concert. And
oh, yeah.
For those of you who don't know who Matt Rife is, he's a comedian who picks on the crowd. And I managed to sway him my way to pick on me, which didn't work out because he just...
I mean, people that know you will pick on you, but people that don't know you don't really know how to handle you.
Well, here's what happened was the lady in front of me was really pissing me off because Anthony had made a shirt for me. We were in the 7th row from the stage.
Yeah.
Anthony had made a shirt for me that said, "Don't shoot, I'm unarmed." So
do you still have that shirt?
Yes, I still have the shirt.
Oh, man, that's beautiful.
And I wore it to the thing thinking he's going to see me. He's got to see this. Like,
yeah.
But 7 rows back from a stage and all the light in your eyes, it's hard to see.
Yes, it is.
Well, the girl in front of me kept going, "Matt, Matt, Matt." You know, she obviously wanted to get called on.
Yes.
Well, he ended up calling on her and roasting her. It was the greatest fucking moment of my life because I was like, "Fuck you, bitch."
Yeah.
Like, sit down, let him pick who he wants to talk to.
Yeah.
Really, he roasted her. It was great. And then I was like, well, great. He ain't coming back to this section because he's already been. The girl was 2 seats in front of me. I was like, he ain't coming back here. Well, then he's going through his whole skit like he does. And then he gets to the end and he's like, "Where's my wheelchair people at?" And I raised my nub, my right nub. I didn't raise my hand that spins. And he goes, "You without the arm." And I stuck my other hand in the air and started spinning my hand rotationally around on my socket. He goes, "What the fuck?" And I was like, "Yeah, I got him now. Hook, line, and sinker." So that was pretty fun. That was a moment. That's a moment of Anthony that I could say is probably a good one because he bought those tickets. He actually had higher tickets before he moved here, and then he got paid some money from selling his house. And he was like, "Me and you are going to the Matt Rife concert," and he got 7th row tickets so we could be seen. And then my stepson and his friend Luke, Evan and Luke, sat up in the high rise ones.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they got some videos of it. But a crazy story while we were there was we met the lady who sold Anthony the 7th row tickets.
Really?
We ran into her because she bought better tickets.
Ah.
And she ended up getting a tattoo of his, like he has a reel out on her now on Facebook. And I have it on my Instagram because she sent it to me thinking that I would like it. But it says "bad tattoo." She's got his autograph tattooed on her arm.
Really?
Yeah. She's like psycho Matt Rife fan.
That's kind of stalkerish, you know?
It's crazy.
Now think about this. You could potentially get a stalker because, you know, somebody reads your book and fall in love with you.
I'm not sure I don't already have some.
You know, that is true. I do come over your house quite often.
Yeah. And they might even just be people that you know.
Oh.
Murder Mystery Podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, fuck those. Everybody's doing those.
Everybody is. Murder mysteries.
Right, murder mystery. Let me tell you about this person that died. Just watch fucking Lifetime.
Yeah.
That's everybody's story wrapped into one.
Man, Lifetime gets on my nerves too.
You know what gets on my nerves?
What?
Snapped.
Snapped?
Snapped, especially when it was all about women killing people, because it used to scare the shit out of me. I used to make Michelle stop watching it. I'd be like, "Stop learning how to kill me." She'd be like, "Why are you watching it?" I'd be like, "Learning how you're going to try to kill me."
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's why I watched Snapped. I was like, I'm watching how all these crazy bitches take out their man, so I'm ready for it.
What was the most common way of killing them?
Oh, poison.
Yeah. I actually could have guessed that because I'm
Poison.
pretty sure. Yeah. Because women.
Or they hire someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on.
Did anybody ever actually stab their husband to death?
I don't remember or recall that, but I get scared of your sister while she's using knives. That's my dog. Someone's here. I think it's my stepson.
Probably.
Or my son. I call him my son.
Yeah. Well, he is your son.
Yeah, he's been around for a while. He is my son.
Exactly.
But anyway, back to the knife thing. When she's cutting stuff and cooking, she talks with her hands.
I know.
And
Michelle
she's waving around
is
that
very scary.
knife.
Yes.
And I'm like, stop it before I unintentionally hurt you.
I actually agree with you on this one because mom does it too. And they'll wave around the knife and it's like, I need you to put the knife down while you're talking.
Right. The
like,
kids are running around right
Yeah,
now and
like-
you're waving a knife around like a mad woman.
Yes. And they don't even intentionally do it on purpose, you know.
No, it's like me talking with my hands. I
know.
keep looking at them.
I'm not looking at them. I'm staring you dead in the
I know,
eye.
and it's creeping me out too.
That's good.
No, it's not.
Why not?
Because it's turning me on a little bit for eternity.
For eternity.
So since I'm doing a book, I think my OnlyFans page is going to go out the window.
I don't know. I think it would go up, you know.
It would, but then I'd have to start doing weird shit and people would lose their respect for what I have to say in the book.
Okay, that's understandable. You could take feet pics and then sell them on your
Nub
OnlyFans.
pics.
Yeah, nub pics. And your prosthetic feet.
But does that degrade a person?
Yes, I think so.
You think so?
I think so.
Didn't we fight for freedom of however we want to live our lives?
Yes.
So then how are you judging people right now?
Just because they have the right
You're
to do it
fired again, Kyle.
doesn't mean that I don't get to judge them. I mean, just because something happens
Who
doesn't
are
mean
you
other people
to judge.
I'm
sir?
me to judge. I'm me. Everybody.
We just had a big conversation on this, and I feel
Yes.
like you're backtracking now.
I know that, but everybody judges no matter what. I won't say anything to people just because I disagree with somebody doesn't mean I'm going to be like, you're a sinner or I'm judging you, but I'm going to judge you
right,
no matter
but if
what.
I write this book about how great my life is and that, you know, I'm moving on forward and I've overcome all this adversity and then I'm swimming in a kitty tub full of macaroni and cheese to make money.
That's a great idea, by the way.
I know, I want to do it. But I mean, wouldn't that take away from the aspect
Yes.
of the book?
Yes,
So I can't have them both,
I know.
unfortunately.
I agree with you.
Unfortunately. But if I was
Eternity.
reading that book, I'd be like, that's a badass motherfucker. Because he doesn't care.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
And you don't.
I don't.
Exactly. That's one of the
I
great
can
things about
give
you.
2 fucks or 2 fingers about anything.
You can't do that. You don't have any.
I know. That's why I said 2 fingers. I don't care about them. They're not there anymore. I don't have to get manicures. Speaking of which, okay, God bless Focus.
Yeah. God bless
Okay.
Focus.
But they brought a lady out on Saturday. The people arrive.
Did you try to get a manicure from her?
No, hold on.
Okay.
Don't jump ahead.
Sorry, I apologize.
Listen to the fucking story, Kyle.
I'm fired.
Yeah.
Eternity.
This is like 3 times. You're going to spend eternity in the employment line. Anyway, God bless them, but everybody shows up on Saturday evening-ish, afternoon-ish, because they're all getting flights from all over the country.
Mm-hmm.
They brought a lady in to do manicures and pedicures, or manicures, not pedicures. I'm sorry, manicures for these guys. You know, she wants to do it out of the kindness of her heart,
Yeah.
and that's what she can contribute, and I love her for it.
Yeah.
But I had to give her some shit.
Oh, God.
As soon as I walked in, and I was like, "Can I get one of those?" And she was like, "Yeah, you can." And I was like, "How?" Like, because she was like massaging their hands and stuff. And then I thought about it, and I was like, if she started massaging my arm, it would be super weird because it would be like you're lubing up your hands to massage my nubs.
And I felt that. I felt
I
those notes.
immediately went somewhere I shouldn't have, like ramrod. But I was like, that would be so weird. She'd be like cupping my arm and stroking lotion up and down on it.
I could actually see you actually going through with that just to make her feel uncomfortable.
But it made me feel uncomfortable, and that's unusual.
Man, I feel like that's a sign that you're growing up a little, just a little.
You know, I could agree, but not. It just,
Fair enough.
I would have felt bad for her.
Yes.
Like, I would have done
Empathy.
it. I would have done it, but
Empathy.
everybody around would have started making their own judgments and visualizations and thoughts. And I didn't want that for her.
You know?
Nor the people who really wanted to get one.
Exactly.
So
It
I was
would've-
trying
it-
not to take away from their experience.
I think you made the right choice, Todd.
Yeah, I think for once I did too.
Yeah.
But I just decided to share that story.
That was a great story.
Yeah, it was a good one. Where are we at now?
50.
50? I think we call this one because
Okay.
I'm running out of material here.
Yeah, I agree. I think this was a great return.
I think it was a great return. Our last time we did a return, it was only like 35 minutes or something.
Yes, it was.
So, we almost tried to call it early, but we saved it.
We stuck with it.
We fucking hung in there, man.
Yeah, we did.
And you know what I'm going to say?
I'm proud of you.
Listen to the exit music. Have a great day, and we'll see y'all later.